Populist leaders like Donald Trump are good at whipping up populist sentiment. They look strong.
We are going to make America greater, greater, greater than it's ever been before.
They promise they can get things done.
Let's take back control of this democracy, take back control of this country, show that we can stand on our own 2 feet.
They are experts at manipulating people's feelings. But here's the twist. They are incompetent at solving real threats and problems. The current once-in-a-century pandemic is a test, and most of the populist leaders have failed it. Their anti-science, scapegoating approach to get votes is being used to treat the virus, and it is not working well, and the consequences are deadly. Populist leaders need enemies. They like to portray themselves as representatives of the pure people, and on the opposing side are elites, establishments, and migrants, all scapegoats of domestic problems. By playing the victim card, they successfully shirk responsibilities. US President Donald Trump rose in 2016 with the populist tide on his nationalistic anti-elite slogans. When scientific recommendations are offered by his traditional enemies, the corrupt elites and international institutions, he chose to ignore and deny them.
Thank you very much.
We are still knee-deep in the first wave of this, and I would say this would not be considered a wave. It was a surge or a resurgence of infections.
Well, I think we are in a good place. I disagree with it.
When early testing was shown to be a common-sense response to stop the spread of the virus, he mentioned slowing it down to make the numbers look better.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
It's the opposite. We're going to be doing more testing, not less.
Similarly, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has also tried to downplay the virus by claiming it is nothing but a little flu. He has joined protests against the lockdown while refusing to wear a mask, despite scientific proof that masks lower transmission rates.
No meu caso particular, pelo meu histórico de atleta, caso fosse contaminado pelo vírus, não precisaria me preocupar. Nada sentiria ou seria, quando muito, acometido de uma gripezinha ou resfriadinho.
Currently, America and Brazil have the most confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the world. The two countries have roughly 5 million cases combined. When asked about the high caseloads in the two countries, Margaret Harris, a senior official at the WHO, pointed it out explicitly. Around the world, we have seen that the warnings we put out right from the start, very, very early on, were not seen as warnings about a very serious, lethal disease.
On one hand, actually, we are looking at a kind of anti-intellectualism, a kind of, deep, suspicion of truth, common sense, and also science, in his way of talking about injecting disinfectants into the human body to kill the virus. On the other hand, obviously, we're looking at a failed leadership. This is a kind of like a team in the White House that lacks, consistency in the policy, also in the understanding of the mechanism, and also in the strategy of tackling with the disease.
Trump's blame list is a long one. The WHO, immigrants, opposition parties, the previous administration, and China. If anything, the current pandemic has become another opportunity for his administration to push its nationalist and protectionist agenda. They are actively deporting immigrants at the US southern border, effectively exporting the coronavirus to other countries. They have failed. More people are beginning to realize that their populist rhetoric is nothing but empty promises. According to a recent poll, 67% of Americans disapprove of Trump's coronavirus response. As British Prime Minister Boris Johnson missed the critical window to take decisive action, his approval rating sharply declined by 10 points, according to a new Survation poll. By contrast, in Germany, support for the far-right alternative for Germany is falling, while German Chancellor Angela Merkel's party is basking in popularity. Tackling an epidemic on such a large scale requires cooperation, solidarity, and responsibility, everything that populist leaders stand against. They try to build more walls between countries. But viruses transcend borders, races, and ethnicities. COVID-19 might be another straw on the camel's back to expose their hollow politics. They thrive on imagined threats, but cannot solve real ones.